Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am Captivating Christian, and hopefully you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Um, Please, if I can get a little thumbs in the chat, just let me know that you can hear me, and we can move forward. Because I don't know. Should be able to hear me. Anyway, welcome to everybody in the chat. Cool, you can hear me. Great. Uh, Melissa Scott, Patty Duke, welcome. What's up, brother Nate? Always great to see you. Virginia Redbone, I know you were in here earlier. You might just pop on through later. Janice James, welcome. Always great to see you. And everybody in the balcony, welcome as well. As we embark on a whole new year, how is everybody feeling as we enter into 2021, a whole new year? But before we enter in a new year with new things and new challenges, we still have to deal with some old ones. And with that, the first one, of course, Mitch McConnell. Now, I know some people probably had their hopes set on $2,000, but I mean, I wasn't buying it. I figured Mitch McConnell would not go for it, and he would do exactly what he did, which was block it, and send out the $600, which he claims should be reaching accounts tonight. So, you go $600, then maybe $2,000 when Biden enters into office, maybe. But we'll see how that goes. But, that was his promise. Now, I don't know what damage, if any, this will do to his hopes on retaining power in the Senate. We do know that Georgia is right now the talk of the town in ensuring McConnell's power. Now, maybe Mitch McConnell knows something that we do not know, to the reason why he did not fold under Trumpian pressure to actually increase the benefit from $600 to $2,000. And which could be right, he knows that a lot of Republicans did not like Trump, but they necessarily was not going to vote down ballot Democratic. That's something that we have to come to grips with. So hopefully, my prayer is that the people turned out and voted. Early numbers show that a lot of people have turned out to early vote for this Senate race, more so than past races. So that's a good indication that people are actually showing up and voting and voted early. Now, which way that'll swing, we won't know till it is time for Election Day. It is a week away, so anticipations are high. Golden Goods, how are you? Welcome. And Janice James, welcome once again. I don't know. It's very interesting. And the way they play around with money and figures and people are actually suffering, that's the part that I find to be a huge problem for me. People are dependent upon the moves of this government at this present time. So to kind of gloss over it or play with it, as in $600 is really enough for some people who are behind on probably the smallest of payments, to where that $600 would go within a payment or two and just probably break even. I don't know. I really don't know what Mitch McConnell's thinking is, what the rest of the Republican Party's thinking. I do know a few of them had said did actually put the $2,000 on the floor for a vote, that they would actually vote for them. Hello, Vernon Junkie Closet. Vernon Junkie Closet, how are you? It's always great to see you. Excuse me, I was getting tongue-tied there. But I don't know. I really don't know what Mitch McConnell's thinking is. I really hope that eventually he gets removed or he leaves, something happens, because I don't see Turkey Neck moving a bit. And if he retains power in the Senate, I believe it'll be another, Barack Obama. I'm not going to try and let you do anything until we regain power again. Then we'll move on and forward with whatever plans we have. And one thing I do not like that the Democrats are doing, this whole play nice, we got to come together, be one party, all this bipartisan, mumbo jumbo talk, when the Republicans have shown you time and time again that when they retain power, they could give a goddamn what the Democrats want, what they're thinking about, what kind of avenues they want to go down. They don't care. So my issue with the Democrats is why? Why then, when you have the power to be able to move things and function the way you want to function, you then want to kumbaya and make everything nice with everybody? They don't give a crap. So sometimes, you have to have that same attitude. It's almost like taking care of yourself and doing for yourself first before you can do for others. And that's, kind of sort of this mantra that I think that they definitely need to take, because I'm getting sick and tired of the wanting to hold hands and the, we want to move forward, past this history. And it's like, no, get it together, put your foot down, and, let it be known that it is what it is. Even with this $2,000. All right, cool. Mitch McConnell said no. Then go down to Georgia and let every Georgian know, not just the ones in Atlanta or the surrounding cities and suburbs where you think the vote will actually come in. Go down to those Republican suburbs and see the people and let them know, hey, this is not, Mitch McConnell voted not to give you that extra $2,000. So with that $600, you're still going to have to figure out how to make the rest of your bills work. I think they leave it, for some reason, just my observation, that they're leaving it up to the people to actually do this information and do this research and know that the Republican Party is actually behind the stoppage of the $2,000 instead of you just getting the $6,000. And, that's not necessarily true. And I'm not necessarily calling people dumb necessarily, but people don't really do research, and they don't. That's how Trump got to where he got. He talked a good game. People believed that he was this wealthy, businessman, which in fact he has more money than a lot of people. Yes, but how he made his money, not by any means by what he said or how he said he did it. Most of it was inherited. A lot of that was squandered. And then he lied to banks about how much money he actually had, and they gave him loans. Now that must be nice to be able to do that, get away with it, still get the money, and run around wealthy and, play the game. But again, there's a two different system here. There's a system when you're white and right, and then there's a system when you're not so. Because that wouldn't have been able to work with someone Black or someone of color. And if it did, it wouldn't work for too long, because they would have already gotten them for some kind of tax evasion, some federal crime, and they would be in jail right now. So the fact that this man can go so many years and still not answer to taxes that people with lesser means was able to actually have to answer. We're talking about Wesley Snipes to Lauryn Hill to Little Kim. I mean, nobody escaped the IRS and their taxes, but it seems that Donald Trump has. So that's interesting. Moving past that, speaking of the House and Congress, this last bit, Program 1033. Program 1033 was one that I talked about before. That is the program that allows police departments to get unused military equipment like bayonets and military assigned rifles, bombs, tear gas, all military grade materials that they are no longer using. They actually give it to police departments for hell of a lot cheaper or sometimes even free, depending on probably their donation to the military or to whatever branch they get their equipment from. Now, this has been going on for some time, and this is caused the increase in police brutality, because when the protests and stuff happen, then these tanks come out. You start seeing these tanks. Prime example of that was Kenosha with that the young white thug who shot those two people, killed them and injured a third, and then walked by the police officers with his hands up, and he was able to go home. Kyle Rittenhouse, that thug, yeah. So as you see in the video, he was walking by and you saw those tanks with the police firearms on them. Those are the actual tanks that they get from military. And that is what Program 33 allows, those kind of transactions to happen. Now, the police department, as well as a lot of senators in Congress, mainly Republicans, but there have been some Democrats like West Virginia, saying that 1033, has been able to protect police officers as well as reduce crime, so on and so forth. The same mumbo jumbo that they're always pushing, but the actuality is it does not. It actually cause more harm than it does good, because of course you see when they use it, when there's peaceful nonviolent protests with people, with black people and people of color, and some white people in the mix, not knocking you, they seem to want to bring out the tanks and all the bells and whistles. But as we see, when the Proud Boys come and they come and do their demonstrations, whether it's in DC, whether it's in Michigan or anywhere, there are no tanks to be found. There's no tear gas, nothing but police officers just standing there protecting both sides, quote unquote, right? So this bill comes before Congress tomorrow. And the reason why I bring this up, because this may show a sign of where we may be headed as far as our fight to defund or demilitarize the police, right? So if this bill gets knocked out, which hopefully it will tomorrow, that's a chink in the chain. That is not the only program that they are able to get military weaponry and all that kind of stuff, but it is the main one. It is the one with the most money. So that's a start. So hopefully your Congress can come through and they vote that out. I'm pretty sure they still have the majority, so who knows? It'll probably get pushed out, but we still have to keep an eye somewhat on the Senate to see if they try to filibuster it or whatever he might try to do to protect it. So we shall see. Hasn't been much talk about voter fraud lately. Same old from, that person, but nothing else. Seems like the Republicans are starting to get into the reality of it's over, and the actual senators and people in the House who actually have jobs to continue on, they seem to be pushing towards moving forward. Now, we don't know how long this will last. We still have the actual electoral college vote coming up. The read-off of the vote, actually, coming up in the Senate pretty soon. So we'll see what, antics they try to pull with that. It is just a ceremonial thing. It really doesn't mean anything, but who knows? Let's get into some other things real quick. Definitely moving right along. Today was a bit of a surprise, not surprise move. The DOJ has found no evidence to charge, not enough evidence. I'll say that. Not enough evidence to charge the police officers who shot and killed Tamir Rice some years ago. That was the young boy who was somebody called the police on him, saying that somebody was in the park playing with a gun. The actual caller told the dispatcher that the gun was possibly a toy. And as you all have seen from the video footage years and years ago, the police officer pulled up on Tamir Rice and they just opened fire. Not, no video, no body cam footage, no nothing. So for me to not have enough evidence say that was a kid playing in the park, the first thing you would have done would have been to assess the situation, maybe even get out the car, make sure if it's a gun. I don't know. I mean, I know everything is kind of a bit dangerous, but you figure when you're looking at a child, is the first thing that you see, oh yeah, this little kid, this little 10-year-old is walking around here in the park with a fully loaded gun ready to pop off at anybody. I think it has a lot to say, more say about the person who's actually the officer than it would that situation. But I don't. I mean, I don't. I really don't see how you didn't see any charges. None of the officers will be charged. Same song and dance. And it does get frustrating, especially when it's still happening. and that's the problem. I mean, we talk about defunding the police and militarizing the police. People get scared. Well, we need police. What do you mean get rid of the police? Not saying get rid of the police. However, because we all know, I mean, it goes without saying, you need something there. But what we have does not work. It is overly saturated with large amount of people who are racist, who do not, particularly care for the communities in which they serve. And this is a way for them to have authority and power over people that they already look down upon. That needs to change. The whole way they come out and kind of de-escalate a situation needs to change, because they come out to our neighborhoods guns blazing. However, if they got the same call in their neighborhood, they don't give that same they don't give that same atmosphere, that same vigor when they're dealing with one of their own committing an act of terror. Everything is, oh, they had mental issues, oh, it was a lone wolf, oh, it's always excused away as, oh, that one mental person. Yet, again, they get a phone call of a disturbance. They're in there, their guns are blazing, ready to go. Like the prime example, the situation that happened with that young lady in Chicago. She plainly told them, hey, you have the wrong house. And they were, like, whatever. So you don't know this person? You sure you don't know this person? You don't know nothing about him? She told you no. But of course, that's not what you gather. You gather, well, you black, you should know him. We would have no reason to be here if you didn't know him. Not even taking into account, hey, we may actually have the wrong address. We may have the wrong place. And many others, like the Andre Hill, who was recently killed right before Christmas, had a cell phone in his hand. Somebody had made a phone call saying, hey, I keep hearing an SUV engine. This is like 1:30 in the morning. Now, I get it. Everybody should kind of be on high alert at times in your neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes certain things, it's like, don't be so quick to actually assume that it is actually something negative. When you put two and two together, you're in Ohio, it is winter time. Even if people were just going to get, something to eat from whatever may be open at that time of the morning, you would still have to cut the car on, warm the car up, so on and so forth. It's not like an average summer night where you just get in the car and go, and you would not hear somebody's car revving up or anything like that. So someone called the police because they heard an SUV engine constantly revving. So the officer goes to the call. The man is holding up his hands and his cell phone because, of course, it is dark. So I'm sure he was using the cell phone as light. So he has his cell phone in one hand and he's walking towards the police officer. The police officer has the dash cam on and he, thank God, had his body cam on. Body cam on. He walks up to the man as the man's trying to explain, I guess, the reason why he's coming out of his garage with his phone well lit, illuminating. He just shoots him. He shoots him and then yells, "Let me see your hands." As the one shot, of course, sent the man straight to the ground. So you yelling, "Let me see your hands," for what? For what? This whole atmosphere of this is crazy. Like, when is enough enough? But because they have backing of not only their city and state local governments, they have the backing of their unions, so they can do anything that they want to do. And they do it because they know at the end of the day, they're not going to get punished for it. And if they do get punished, it's more like a slap on the wrist because they can still keep their pensions. They can still keep all those extra benefits that they've been paying in for however many years that particular agency gives them as far as a bonus for staying on the force for so many years. They get to keep all that. So if they happen to lose their job, they can go into the private sector and do private security or be hired by some other white nationalist group as a security officer, or even at some, smaller town where they don't really follow the news like that. And they wouldn't necessarily know that he was charged with actually killing an unarmed black man. Or if they did, would they even care? Hey, Sarkonos, how are you? So, I'm just over it. Like, I really am. I think there needs to definitely be a tougher law and sanction on police officers who shoot and kill unarmed people and then try to, oh, I thought he had a gun. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was that. I mean, and that's just before, that was like days before Christmas. I was that the 22nd, I believe, that happened on December 4th. Remember the gentleman, the 25-year-old Goodson Jr. on December 4th, when he was killed coming in from the dentist and then going to the subway to get sandwiches for his 5-year-old brother and 72-year-old grandmother, and was shot in the back as he was going to the door by a sheriff or some kind of special tactic unit officer who was looking for somebody else. So I don't know how he ended up following him, or I don't know how that young man even was in his sight of view. But he wound up following the man home. And I'm guessing because the young man was not even like, I didn't do anything wrong, there would be no reason for you to even stop me, went about his business. And of course, with this authority kind of complex that a lot of these officers have, if you don't answer them, or if they feel like you're answering them and your tone is disrespectful, instantly they go right to takedown mode. And I know, because I've had the talk with my own dad. Oh, don't talk back, don't, because I know your mouth. But it's almost like, well, what are you supposed to do? Like, yeah, you can be quiet and just wait till court and do all that, because I've done that too. And thank God that has worked in my favor. But obviously it keeps happening. So that means that there's nothing done to the officer as far as how he handles the situation. and for him to actually shoot that young man in the back in front of his grandmother and young brother is ridiculous. Even going back to the Tamir Rice situation, which again the DOJ decided that there was not enough evidence to charge any of the officers for criminal wrongdoing. I personally just feel like this. They feel like they can do what they want to us, and then at the end of the day, we'll be satisfied with a payment. And that's just that. The Tamir Rice family got $6 million. After they got the $6 million, the grand jury decided not to charge the officers at all. At all. So there's obviously a game being played here where our lives are not valuable, right? That's why we say Black Lives Matter. But on the other side of that, it's, well, if we do knock one of them off for whatever reason, and we wind up getting a little backlash from it, just throw them some money. And it'll go away. They'll be fine. And we can move on. And that's just what they've been doing. As you see with these trends, they just throw some money and it's supposed to be, okay, now go away, be quiet, let the protest die down, let nobody think about it no more, and we can go on as business as usual. But the issue is the money does not come from the police departments. The money does not come from the police department budget. The money comes from the cities and the states that we all live in. And the bottom line is you wind up paying for that police officer's killing. The police officer doesn't pay for that. Now I think if they started to change that, if that was changed, then yeah, a lot of officers would probably think twice if they knew that, hey, if I kill this person, I'm not only going in the process of losing my job, I will also lose the pension I have. My house will be gone. This will be gone. College funds, life insurances, because I would have to pay out of my own pocket a portion of whatever this is. A lot of officers would think twice about pulling a trigger, but because they are covered under yeah, I mean, I'm from New York too, so trust me, I know about the police. But where they are covered, they don't care. It's okay, I'll deal with the public pressure. I'll even step down from my position because, again, I know if I can't be a cop here, I can go somewhere else and be a cop. They're not going to look at it. And if they do look at it and know that I've actually had run-ins with Black people and other people of color that have been discriminatory and kind of race-driven, they'll probably praise it. So they get to live their lives someplace else. They just aren't police officers in a major city anymore, but they get to take their pensions and do whatever they want with them. And that is why they do this whole, they don't fire them right away. They put them on a suspension. Putting them on the suspension allows them to get together with the agency, work out how they're going to do their pension. And then once they figure that out and everything is secure in that end, then it's okay. We fired them. We're moving along with the charges. But on the back end, all the pension, the money, all that is secured. And sometimes it's even secured in the wife's name, to where in which if he happens to actually get charged, nothing will happen to that pension because that pension is already, kind of on its way to know where it's going, regardless of whatever happened to the particular officer. And again, those situations definitely need to change to ensure that, hey, you may be a law enforcement officer, which means you enforce the laws, but you're not above it. So the laws still amount to you. You are still responsible and have to answer to the laws that you enforce as an officer. And, we are a society where a lot of us only answer to money. It's like, you don't mess with my money. You mess with me, you mess with my money. Not, you mess with my well-being. You mess with my space. No, you mess with my money. We have a big problem. So then sometimes you got to handle people in that manner. Okay, so start messing with people's money and see things change. But question is, will they do that? And we don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, so that was that. Lastly, before I move on to the Black Santa, of course, there was another Karen moment. And this one was a bit disturbing. I meant to grab the video footage, but I couldn't find it to play it for you guys. But I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. The young lady tackled this 15-year-old kid, assuming that he took her cell phone. So much so that the young man's father got involved, and he happened to be a well-known musician. And but of course she didn't know that, and if she did know it, she didn't care, because at that time her Karen whiteness was all she cared about. And because she couldn't find her cell phone, she assumed that young black man took her cell phone, only because, well, what other reason? That's what they do. They take, they take things. So of course he has my cell phone. So she accused the young black man of taking her cell phone. Just one second while I'm kind of searching for it to see if I can find it, because I know I had it here somewhere. But she accused the young man of taking her cell phone, and then the father gets involved. She actually tackled the young man, which was crazy to me, and to how people can assume that any parent would be okay with that is beyond me. Kian Harold is actually the musician who was involved in this situation. His son, who happens to be 15, they were staying at a Manhattan hotel. A woman accused his son of taking, he was 14 actually, accused his son of taking her phone, and she tackled him. And he just happened to, he yelled for his father, so he turned around, saw that happening, and was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell? He must have called him or something, because he did say something about he came through the elevator. So he must have called him after this situation happened. He came downstairs. And of course, the manager, although he claims he was trying to diffuse the situation, he was still really accusing the 15-year-old of taking it, just saying, oh, let us see your phone. Just let us see your phone. And it's like, the father's like, no, you're not going to see his phone. No, not at all. He does not have your phone. You're not going to see his phone. So, point blank, period. And I'm going to take my son and we're going to leave. And then she proceeded to, kind of tug at his son as they're walking away, so much so that when he pushed her, she fell. And then the security officer came and, asked her to stop. But that whole thing was crazy. And yeah, of course, she did wind up leaving the cell phone in the Uber, and yet did not even apologize to the young man nor his family for her actions. And again, that is the problem that we're having. It's not even the simple fact of you having the audacity to accuse someone of taking something without evidence. And I don't know. I think, to me, some of it is a lot with culture and being raised. Because I know when I was younger and growing up with siblings, I could not just say my brother or my sister did something without actual proof that they did it. Because I'd wind up getting in trouble myself if I was wrong about accusing them of doing something that I did not have evidence, in fact, of what they did. Thank you so much, Brother Nate. And that is the link to the story if you'd like to see it. But yeah, because they have me shadow banned on here, so they don't give me much for what I do. So but it's okay. We're gonna move forward. I'm not even gonna worry about it. But I will say that this all comes from it's not even like Donald Trump brought it because it was already here, but Donald Trump really just let them know it was okay. Donald Trump was uh, the wicked witch, uh, Eveline, getting flushed in the toilet and everybody like unzipping their little costumes and coming out dancing. That's what Donald Trump was. Donald Trump was after the moment Eveline got flushed in the toilet. And then can't you see a brand new day? And all those saltines and, race baiters, they all came out celebrating that there was a brand new day, a new sheriff in town, and we could be ourselves and we don't no longer have to hide in the shadows of Eveline, right? So that's what Donald Trump was for a lot of these people. And because he still spews out this kind of hate rhetoric and not denying or condemning things of hate and always looking at it like, well, yeah, they may have done this, but they do this, kind of a tit for tat kind of thing. Is the reason why these people still are able to move around and freely do the BS that they do. Now, had that man really knocked that woman out for tackling her son like that, they've been sitting up here arresting that man, charging that man with battery. They wouldn't care the fact that she accused that man's son of stealing something from her, and she had no evidence that he actually took it. Just the fact that he had an iPhone and he had an iPhone. That's my phone. What? Like, what? And somebody said, well, why don't you Find My iPhone? I can't. It's dead. Girl, did you try? Because if you did try to ding it, the last location where you were would be where it would be. If you didn't have it, and then maybe if you did look at it, you would go, oh, the last ding was in the Uber. It might actually still be in the Uber. Let me call the Uber driver. No, you went through this whole scene, now at risk of probably losing your job once because, of course, it went viral. How you doing, TC? Welcome. That, now that it went viral, you probably have no job. And we're supposed to feel sorry and cry about you not having a job after you totally showed your whole entire non-existent ass for an iPhone that you solely accused this young black man of taking from you, whose father clearly, makes enough to buy him his own iPhone that he had no reason to steal it from you, but yet you felt it so much important for you to, let it be known that no, he took my cell phone, and he's not going to leave here until I get my cell phone. Call the police. And, all that happened, and come to find out that the damn cell phone was in the Uber. No apology, no nothing. Because, again, we don't deserve apologies. We're not deserving enough of an apology, of an I'm sorry, of I was wrong, of this was wrong, that was wrong. No, we don't want to admit any of that. All we want to do is do what we do to you and then just move forward. And we're supposed to be the bigger people, turn the other cheek, and what would Jesus do, and all this other stuff, while they can, preach these same principles to us and yet and still do the things that they do. So it just brings that whole thing into question for me. Even when we talk about religion and how much, they bring up religion and how much they are so concerned about morality and things that are morally right. And yet they wind up doing the most dirt. And you're like, well, how does that even make sense? I really hope they do sue their butts. I hope they sue their butts. I hope they sue the hotel. because that manager was horrible. That manager actually was right along with her in accusing that young man of taking the cell phone. Um, and it was crazy. It was really crazy, and I can imagine that young man was probably fearful with all that he known that has gone on, that he thought, oh my gosh, they're going to call the police. The police are going to kill me, and I don't even have this woman's cell phone. But thank goodness his father was there to step in and protect him as he should have. Um, since I ain't Jesus, I ain't gonna do what he would do. Right. But a lot of people, a lot of us do, a lot of us do. A lot of us are quick to jump that high moral, oh, what would Jesus do? Oh, let them, they got an answer for that. No, sometimes their answer is right when it's supposed to be. You got the wrong one. That was your answer. Yeah, you deserve that beat down. That was your answer because you went too far. Sometimes we shouldn't always have to wait for the clouds in the skies to open up for God to just, handle his business. Sometimes, I mean, if he gave you the ability to do a hitter and a quitter, then that's what you have the ability to do. And if somebody comes too close into your space, like messing with your children, accusing your children of doing something to that manner where they're tackling, harassing. I mean, I can imagine what she did to that young man until that man's father came out of that elevator. And even then, they were like, well, where did you come from? He was like, he was like, first of all, Mr. Manager, I stay here. I just came, you saw me just come out the goddamn elevator to see what the hell is going on. It's just crazy. It really is. It really is crazy that, and people say if you don't, know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And the crazy bit is, many of us that know history and know the history that our grandparents and great grandparents gone through, even parents in some instances, we're getting a taste of it. We're getting a very much a taste of it. A white woman sit there can accuse this black man of stealing. You accuse another black man of harassing you or attacking you because your dog is not on a leash running through Central Park. And because he told you, hey, you might want to keep your dog on a leash. That's illegal out here. You felt the need to call the police on him and threaten that he was endangering your life to get the police there, because you knew that once the police came, they were probably going to either do something damaging to him, and you were okay with that because because he spoke to you, because he had the audacity to correct you. And this is the attitude. And then they want to cry and boo-hoo and give all these tears when they get caught and when they get busted and when their addresses and their names is plastered all over social media and they lose their jobs. Then we want to cry and we want to, we didn't think it was that bad. Like the nurse. Is a thing going around with the white nurse putting up the KKK kind of symbol as she's talking about bring the lion out. And then all of a sudden, all of her stuff is everywhere. She is a Trump supporter. She's a nurse. And that's the fearful part. You think, you have an issue in law enforcement with people who are a part of the alt-right or Proud Boys or that kind of thing. You have people in the medical profession who are a part of these same organizations. So when you're in the hospital, kind of in the midst of your trying to figure out either what's wrong with you or you need your life saved, there could be a possibility that someone's actually working on you that, don't really care about whether you live or die. Or it could, be, hey, how you get through. Look at the young woman that died of COVID, the doctor who was a physician herself in Indianapolis or Indiana, at the university hospital. I just, and the hospital talking about now they're going to look into it. Now they didn't, the president of the hospital, university hospital, said that they did not see any medical wrongdoing by this physician, but that his bedside manner or their bedside manner was not up to the standard that the hospital, promotes. The fact that he was able to talk to another physician that way is problematic. Problematic. Because if she knows what her symptoms are, she knows exactly why she's there. She knows exactly what's going on with her body, and telling you, hey, we need to do this. You need to check me for this because this and that is going on. And you totally ignore her like, oh, well, you don't even feel no pain because we're going on what? Age-old slavery, medical examination, experimental tactics that, oh, Black people don't feel pain, or Black people can take more pain than the average white person. I mean, it's getting to be like the same stuff that I've watched on movies for years coming to light in real time and really causing damage to people. And I'm really just like, and we sitting up here worried about what? We have war on so many fronts that we don't even have time to argue with one another about anything. About anything. But we find the time. We find the time. It's really crazy. Really, really crazy. You have police doing those botch kind of raids in Chicago on a regular basis. This is just a time where in which they got caught and busted. And then the body cam footage happened to get leaked. Because, of course, the Chicago Police Department, as well as Mayor Lightfoot, who needs to get a heavier something, definitely tried to keep it under wraps. Who told you racism was dead? No, nobody told me racism was dead. But I just, you get to we always feel like if we crossed another hurdle, that everybody breathes a sigh of relief, like, and you feel like, okay, well, we made it past this, all right, and we're moving right along. And it's just like, no, we haven't gone anywhere. Like, yeah, things have changed, and we've gained new tools and different ways to bring awareness to the brutality. During the civil rights movement, it was the cameras. It was the cameras and the news reporters and all that that brought light to the bombing of the church where the young girls had died, or to the crossing of the bridge where John Lewis and others were attacked. Cameras did that. They was writing in the paper for months about what was going on down south. And what people did is what people normally do. Some people read it and paid attention and was taken by it. Other people flipped to the next page on what was important to them. People didn't really start understanding until it hit their TV screens and they could see in real time people getting beat. That's it. That is it. And that's one reason why Dr. King then started to push for the children's marches, because at first they were really not, they didn't really want the children to even get involved in the protest and that nature, but they needed to bring attention to what was going on. They needed to find a way to use something to bring attention to the nation that, hey, this is going on in these United States, that people talk is so, great and pristine. We live like this. We have to deal with this every day. And once the TV cameras came into view and you got to see that they were doing this to children, putting water hoses on children and dogs on children, all that kind of stuff, people started to, oh my gosh, we need to do something. To an extent, we need to do something. So there's always been something there to kind of push the people into this space of awareness that things need to change. But there's always been this deep-seated racism that people just, and it's like we always talk about the same things. Oh, well, we need to really talk about it. That's the only way we can change it. But the people don't want to talk about it. They don't care anything about it. Uh, they don't care anything about it. You've let them live in a society where they feel and they've been taught that they've created everything. They have created everything. Now we know we know it not to be true because we know the actual truth. But if you've been, force fed your entire life that, your race has created everything and everything under your race is beneath everything. And even if you have not utilized your potential from your race to actually elevate yourself, you are still better than them. And and that's what a lot of these Trump support. The lowest of the low of the Trump supporter. That's exactly what he thinks. Well, at least at the end of the day, I'm not them. They live in a shack, no teeth in their mouth but memories. On every bit of public assistance that they claim other people are taking from them, but yet the only thing that they hold on to having something better than someone else, not an education, not a job, not family lineage, just the fact that your skin happens to be on the white spectrum and others do not. That's it. I don't know. I just find that to be like crazy. Like I really don't even know what to say. Racism, of course, will always exist. But we need to stop it. Like the elephant has been in the room. It's enough. Like people are just so afraid to and to be clear, for us too, it's okay to have pride in your blackness. It is not race. It's not racist to just be proud to be black. It is not. It's just that you're proud to be black. You're proud of your heritage and your history. You're proud to wear what you wear. I don't know how many times you get in front of people and they're like, well, yeah, I don't really do all that Afrocentric stuff. What Afrocentric stuff? You do not know that everything that you were was taken from you. So all that you have, even your Afrocentric, is still somewhat stripped of actual Africa. It has remnants of kind of, European American kind of things in it. So, it's just really been a huge just brainwash, and I really don't know if we will ever get to a place as a people and be like, okay, cool, we need to come together and really be about our business. It's like, nope, everybody's like, this one's concerned more about this than this one's concerned more about that than that, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like I just saw I'm not sure who it was, but there was a video meme going around of, I believe it's the guy who's in charge of that black militant group. He was saying that, all these rappers go around here talking about killing this one, killing that one, how they got all these bodies and all this kind of stuff. And they, putting prices on other black people's heads. But nobody has done anything to any of these, other individuals who have killed black people, black men, other people like George Zimmerman, so on and so forth. No rapper has done anything. George Zimmerman, he was saying something about George Zimmerman sold the gun for like $200,000. And no one, black or of color, bought the gun. So then therefore they would not be able to pass that treacherous, murderous part of whatever on to another family member as an heirloom of something to hold on to with pride. No one did that. So he found it to be a bit disturbing. And then I really started to be like, you know what? You're absolutely right. But that's the mindset in which they want the young people to feel. They want the young people to, oh no, you gotta get after our homeboy or homegirl in order to get ahead. You have to trample over them. You have to conquer them in order to get ahead. And then once you're ahead, then you can live like us. And you don't have to be worried about doing that anymore. And they get into this place that is just really, you get to see that, yeah, it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's definitely different from slaves and being enslaved, and it's a mental enslavement that we are definitely dealing with. And those chains are just as hard to break as I guess a lot of people felt that the chains of slavery were hard to break, because that just, I, mm-mm, I can't, like, as much as we push for change and legislation and election of a new president and hope that something will change and be different and things remain the same, and you could still sit there with a straight face and say, well, I don't really want to defund the police or change that, but there do need to be some reforms. How many more people have to die? Like, I even wrote a letter to YouTube, and I was like, well, I get that you may have shadow banned me for whatever reason. Cool, whatever. But what I am confused about, though, is how you would allow people, because I'm not only a creator of content, I view content. So how would you allow others to talk hatred, fight and bicker, and all types of the lowest of the low kind of denominators, all these things, but yet when there are people out dying in the streets and the only information that they get to know about comes from either a platform or a content creator that they trust, and you rather not let that get out, but you'll let foolishness or gossip or this, that, and the other, or hair tips and beauty, you let that spread and let that be okay, and real stuff not. I just find that very hard. And I was like, I would hope that that's not the message that you're sending out. So we'll see what they say. But I was just really like, I mean, oh, okay. I mean, whatever. Hey, what's going on, Brianna? Hey, what's up, Antonio? So I just over it all. But anyway, yes, that is it for me on this point. So now I'm gonna get to my Black Santa and what Black Santa got me. They shouldn't defund the police. However, they should definitely needs to reimburse the funds and go to the police department. Yeah, well, of course, not defunding the police, but definitely need to, well, even if they need to change the wording. Because I think defunding the police gets people all like, oh my God, you can't get rid of the police. No one's saying that. But the funds that go to these police departments, like, for example, New York City, billions of dollars go to the New York City Police Department. Billions of dollars. Like, and granted, New York City is a lot that happens there. So some of that money, I understand it. Because you need the cameras, you need the this, you need that. And especially after 9/11, it's been a high alert. Some of that I get. But the amount of money and the military aid that they get for practically free, way too much. Way too much. And then clearly obvious, where in which, again, just like in DC, you have Black Lives Matter protests, you're met with tear gas, you're met with tanks, you're met with National Guard. Proud Boys come in, do the same thing, burned up two Black churches, and we're sitting up here talking about they're still doing investigations on whether it was a hate crime. I'm confused. They're Black churches in Black neighborhoods that Black people attend. One happened to be one of the oldest black churches in DC, you set it on fire. Well, you didn't set it on fire, but you set a Black Lives Matter banner in front of it on fire, which could have, of course, set the church on fire. Broke windows. But we're discussing on whether or not it actually was a hate crime. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it. But had it been on the other foot, oh yeah, there would be no discussion whatsoever. Whatsoever. You got Mr. Osteen getting millions of dollars in small business in loan aid. Millions of dollars. Come on. But the church don't even pay taxes. So why the hell would the church need damn near $4-point-something million in aid? To do what? To do what? That man could have used two of his salaries. He could have went without a salary for the whole damn year to pay for whatever expenses that church needed to be done. He could have stole a car and paid for whatever that church needed to be done. But that's not. But why do that? Why do we need to do that? It's just real crazy. Let's see. I missed some questions here. I'm gonna go back. Well, yeah, that's true too. That is true too. I didn't think about that. But where they getting the drugs from? Seems like to me somebody's trying to do a job and then hide their hand at the same time. That's small. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. Where's that? That's what I would like to know too. But I think a lot of the officers are getting a little extra kickback too. That's why they're so up in arms about it. Most of that money goes to pensions and retirements and upper administration. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, very true. Very true. Very true. Not thanks, Ronald Reagan. Yes. All right. So this segment, of course, is what Black Santa. And yes, I said Black Santa because I know I really don't do the Santa Claus thing. But if I'm going to do it, yes, Santa's going to be black for me. So what Black Santa got for me for Christmas is the last segment before I go. But I did drop the link. So if anybody wants to pop on, say your little 2 bits, you are more than welcome to. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. Yeah, but we definitely have to be proactive. And that is definitely a good point. All right, so we'll start with the small stuff first, and then I'll do the big one. So for Christmas, I didn't really get much, but little stuff I did get, I do like because I like stuff like weird stuff. Oh, I thought I did have a whole one. It fell. Okay, so like I have a thing for like novelty socks and like socks period. So I did get a whole bunch of like socks, which I thought were cute and cool. I don't know when I'm gonna wear them, but I probably am gonna wear them anytime. So I got these socks, and these socks, and a whole bunch of bag full of socks, astronaut socks, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. And some scarves. I did get scarves. Mugs, always could do a good mug. And my god niece gave me that mug. Then my other god niece gave me this one. And this one's pretty cool. I definitely love that. And what else? I got some clippers. I needed some new ones, so I got that. And And of course, last but not least, I did get this, and it is huge, and it's big and black, like me. Um, so yeah, it is a Yeti mic, and that's why you could probably hear me um, a lot better. And it's really big. So yeah, Santa did big right here. I was very impressed. Um, yeah, Santa did big. Yeah, I love socks. It is. I know. That's how I roll. I mean, not but it's it's a mic. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, it's a Yeti mic, and it's pretty huge. It's cool. I like it. Um, Santa was great. And yeah, so moving forward, hopefully you guys can hear me and I don't sound like um, uh, I'm in a bottleneck or something somewhere. So hopefully now, and eventually I'll get the arm thing. So, it'll really be looking like some sort of, I don't know, radio station type deal. But yeah, just moving up and doing better things and, kind of enjoying this uh, pandemic Christmas. Um, but for this new year, being that this is going to be, is this the last one? Yeah, I think this is the last one before New Year. It sure is. Um, that my hope is that we all, with this new year, new start, that we set not resolutions, but we set goals for ourselves, for our families, for our loved ones, but mainly for yourself, because you're no good to anyone if you're not good to yourself first. So set a goal for yourself. It does not have to be anything big. It can be something small, uh, and accomplish it. And then of course go to your next goal, and make sure we get that going. Okay, sir. Before I hit you up, do you know you're on camera, or did you want to take your camera off? You're good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm all right, brother Nate. What's up?
Good, good. Oh, look at you, got that big mic.
Yep.
Been hanging around your boy Antonio too long, huh?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's big. That's pretty big, but thank you. I was like, thank you, Santa.
Santa was real good, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know YouTube was doing that to you.
Yeah, like I mean, I kind of figured, but I wasn't sure because I was just like, okay, like I'm not. I cut back on certain stuff, and I was like, okay, something's up. And then I had somebody look into it who does the IT thing, and they were just like, yeah. I was like, okay. So then I was just like, dear
Uh,
YouTube. So we'll see what they say, but
yeah,
I
because
just
you could see certain changes that were going on, and I knew
yeah,
that you were adjusting some things. So
yeah.
to actually hear that they were actually doing that.
Yeah,
But
right. And
I'm not surprised. I mean, look at the times we're living in.
right. But then I'm thinking too, because I even asked a larger content creator, um, do you think I should start, like cancel it and start a whole new channel? And because that I did not want to, that was my thing. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't even want to have other channels, because
Mhm.
what I want to deliver just want it to be just this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, I can come here. I know what I'm gonna get. I don't have to go like, oh, you got to go to this channel for this, got to go to that channel for that. Nope, you just come right here, get your little news, and go on. And he was like, well, yeah, you may have to, if you're shadow banned, you may have to do a whole new channel. I was like, oh, I don't want to hear that. Like, no, I don't want to hear that. Um, and then doing the other different venues and stuff, most of them you start off free and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way. And it's like when you're not getting nothing, at least from one end, and everything is kind of just doing with what I do as far as my work on the side, that goes into this. And then the little donations, that I get from here go into that, and YouTube little, bit of change goes into that too. It's like, ain't nobody got time to be paying all these people a month for all these little different venues or different things to kind of put myself out there. But yeah, it was crazy. I was like, okay, thanks YouTube. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, because some of the stuff I've seen, it's like yours is nothing compared to that.
But that's what I'm saying. And that was my thing. That's even when I wrote to them. I'm like, some of the stuff I've watched that I've actually witnessed, and y'all just be like throwing ads all up in their stuff. So I'm like, are you just really saying that you'd rather us talk about this, that, and the other, and not really deal with what's going on in our neighborhoods and our communities?
Yeah. They don't want us to don't want the message to get out.
Yeah,
I mean the actual stuff. I mean, 'cause all this, a lot of the stuff is just glazed upon.
Right.
You never hear anything about it.
Right.
It gets 15 seconds and then it's done, and then you might hear a follow up, and that's another 15 seconds later on.
That's it. And then sometimes you don't hear nothing about it at all. They keep it kind of local news, to where in which if you didn't live there, you would never know anything about it. Which a lot of these cases, and that was Ohio. That's another case in Ohio, the one on the 22nd and the one on December 4th.
Yeah.
2 cases in Ohio. I don't live in Ohio. I would have never, if it didn't, hit the way where it got somewhat publicity out here, I would have never known anything about it. So
and that's what I like about your platform, because I'm able to hear actually what's going on around the country and not just in my 50 square miles, and that's it.
Right. But I don't know. We'll see how they respond. But either way, how they respond, I'm not even concerned about it. I'm gonna keep on doing what I do. And whatever blessings come, they come, and just keep it moving. Like I can't.
Oh yeah, because you're definitely doing a service. I told you before, you're doing a service.
Yeah.
You're definitely doing a service, and we definitely need it now.
Yeah.
They pulled the sheets off of everything. You can see it for what it is.
Yeah.
And like I had said in the comments, I remember going to the hospital and just being amazed how I was treated compared to the other patients.
Right.
I mean, they would pretty much almost like manhandling you.
Right. Right.
And it's like, oh no, you just upset because you're not feeling well, whatever. No. You can hear it in the tone of voice and their reactions to you.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
and it's always nice to know that you're not crazy.
Right. That part.
Because that's the same thing. Oh, you're just being sensitive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not at all. And then you got to know that when you go into these places, especially seeking medical treatment, hey, be very aware. Everybody ain't, on your team.
Not for you.
Right. Wanting to make sure that you receive the best of care. Some of them are just like, I want you to get out of my face. I don't even want to work on you. But being that I have to show face a little bit, then I will just do this. Okay. I'll drop the link again so you can probably pop back on. TC was trying to get on. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I hope so soon, maybe to be on Roland Martin or something like that. But we'll see.
Oh yeah, and this they found the supposed other strain of the virus in Colorado.
Right. But one of the doctors that they go to for kind of that same kind of thing that they do for Dr. Fauci, he had already said that it's 9 times out of 10 it's already here.
It's been here.
It's been here.
That in the very beginning they were talking about multiple strains.
Right.
I mean, because it was coming from different parts of the world. You had it coming from Asia, and then you had it coming from Europe.
Right.
And you already had it here. It's just that now that they're starting to look for it.
Right. Exactly. It's all starting to pinpoint. And then also, while I have you up here, how about that passport business? I thought that was crazy.
I knew that was coming because they had an incident with a young girl. I don't know. She went to her boyfriend's. I think he's like a jet ski racer or something, and she got like 2 to 4 months in jail because she came over to their country and she was supposed to quarantine, and she didn't. So she ended up going to his race, and I believe he was supposed to quarantine also. So she had to, some sort of way, she finagled a way out of it, but she had to pay some enormous fine, like $3,000. But she was supposed to spend like 2 to 4 months in jail because they were pretty much at a lockdown situation. I wanted to say like Barbados or someplace like that, but you know.
And I mean, I think it's a way that they may not force you to take it, but they'll find a way.
But they're gonna slow you down. They're gonna make it inconvenient.
Right. They're gonna make it inconvenient for you to take it. They saying that they will, in order for you to get into a concert venue, to get to work, to go pretty much anywhere, at some point you will need to show a verification that you have taken the vaccine through this app or whatever, and it'd be like your passport to be able to go to and from places. So.
But it's just something else for them to hack.
Yeah,
it'll have your medical information. It's linked to all of that. So
that too.
It's definitely some way around and getting what they want, which is more information, which is more that they can sell.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah. But I definitely enjoy it. You keep it up.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And I'll keep sending you articles.
Yes, thank you.
Because I'm up reading anyway. I don't even watch real TV like that. I'm usually reading everything. Then that way I could go all over the place,
Right. That is true. That's one thing that has broadened me to just reading everything. Like I even read, and I usually stay away from Fox News, but I even read Fox News articles.
You have to read this stuff.
Yeah, just to see their difference in what and it is really funny. The same story of what they take out to make it totally look like, no, he was in the right. To where
how they actually spin the story.
Yeah, and you just read it, and it was like,
and it's like, wait a minute, let me read that again. I know I just read this shit. What are they leaving out?
Right,
and it just shows you how propaganda works.
Yeah,
and that's why the others believe that they've done everything.
And that's the sad part. They feel like they've done and created everything, and no one can tell them different. That no, this is not created. I mean, even when they try to, and they slowly tried to put that in. Now they're trying to make it more permanent. How they try to make the Egyptians seem that they were all lighter and of lighter skin, and it's just like,
I actually thought about it, and I have to totally scrap everything that I've learned. In school,
right?
Everything is scrapped. You can't believe. I take everything with a grain of salt. Can't believe a thing.
Right. Very true.
So thank you very much. I'm gonna jump off of here so somebody else can get up there.
No problem.
Okay then, sir. You take care now.
You too. Have a good night. Yep. All right, you guys. Well, that was all I had for Christmas. If anybody else wants to come up, you can hit the link. If not, then I will just roll on out of here. Like I said, I hope you guys have a great New Year's, and Happy New Year's to you. There will not be a gentleman's panel this Thursday. However, next Thursday, the gentleman's panel will be here on this platform. So make sure you come back for the gentleman's panel next Thursday, where we, we'll do as we always do, talk about some hot button issues and debate back and forth, but really get the word and the issues out for all of us. And, we all have different insights and different points of view that make even coming every Thursday enjoyable, even from the comment section. And you all, please don't feel like your comments and your input is not valued, because it is. Even the comments at the end, I always read all of the comments. I don't necessarily click the thumbs up button to everybody's comment, because some comments are really just personal attacks on people, and I don't necessarily thumbs that up. But I hear you. It's still, it's still your voice, and you are allowed to express it and say how you feel, and so on and so forth. And as adults, we should be able to do that and move forward. And so that's the kind of atmosphere I like to make sure I maintain here at Cap Hill. So for those of you who are always here, you know that. For newcomers, that is the kind of atmosphere that we like to give. Very, chill, but still, about business, and want to make sure that we respect everybody. And everybody may not agree with a lot of points of view, but that's okay. And as adults, we're not going to agree with everything and everyone, but you can agree to disagree and be fine. Welcome, VM. Welcome so much. Yeah, you are a little late, but there's, that's what the replay is for. And for those of you in the balcony who may come late, please make sure that you replay and watch it, and like, share, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because we are growing. Slow and steady wins the race, and we are moving. 20 away from 1,500. There was a moment where I was barely at 1,000, and then miscommunication happened with me and fellow other content creators, and people started to take back their subscriptions, and I thought I would never ever make it. But as Whoopi said on The Color Purple, dear God, I'm here. And so in moving forward, I want to thank you all for allowing this year to be growing for me in a way in which I could never imagine. I was very shy coming on this thing, I tell you, because I'm very personal. So this was very different for me, but I did come out of my shell a little bit, my little cancer shell, and kind of share myself and experiences. And welcome, TC. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
I don't see you. I don't see your face.
You don't see me? I see you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all that matters. I just wanted to say thank you and Happy New Year to you and yours and all that kind of good stuff. Ujama for Kwanzaa and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say I love what you're doing, and I love the direction that you're going in.
Thank you.
I think you mentioned something earlier, and just like I think I believe in term limits for elected officials.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my whole thing. Term limits and a couple of other things, but I think there should be some term limits for content creators as well.
Yeah.
Meaning that like every year you should just erase your stuff and then or put it somewhere and then just start new again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least rebrand yourself every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I get you.
So, and in that way it makes you think about, just renewing yourself. And just renewing yourself if you're not pushing yourself to renew yourself,
mm-hmm.
but to be in the flow and in the routine of just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was just thinking of that. But I do believe in term limits for elected officials. That's one of my platforms that is totally, it's still an elephant in the room because, of course, elected officials they're not going to vote for that right now because they're in it.
They too busy making their money. They don't.
Yeah, right. Because that would affect them. Yeah. However, AOC and a couple of others, especially the younger ones, are doing some things behind the scenes that are just having to replace some legislation.
They're game changing. Yeah, they're game changing.
Absolutely, unapologetic.
Yeah. Yeah, and they should be. They're the ones that have been working on the ground. They know what it's like to be an average citizen and not have the backing of, mama and daddy's politician money, and then you come into money, and then,
mm-hmm.
it's different for them. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, it is definitely different for them. You know, I'm not against, you know, people who may have been born with privilege.
Right, of course not. Oh, I think you got kicked off, TC. Come back. Well, we'll wait for TC to come back. But yeah, she got kicked off somehow. But I'll just wait for TC to come back. But until she comes back, I don't know if I need to put the link back up. Oh, here she goes. Here you go.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right, great. Sorry.
No, you fine.
I don't have a problem. Sometimes people are born in situations, and
Right.
you know, however, and when you're entitled, you know, when you feel like, oh, because of that, it's got to be this way, and
Right.
you know, that's when it becomes an issue for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, with greatness comes great responsibility. So, you know,
Right.
It is what it is. But when you're not using it, you're utilizing your kind of hand up to then enrich yourself and not doing nothing for anyone else. I think that's where you do a disservice to humanity.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, congratulations again to you, Captivating Christian. You've been holding it down here, doing an absolute yeoman's job. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
You know, your views and your concerns are definitely not falling on deaf ears. Your information and your, you know, just some of the things that you're making people aware of, you know, I just think it's absolutely amazing. I've been learning a lot myself, and you know, basically taking, you know, some of the concerns of our millennials and the Gen Zs,
right.
you know, to my Gen Xers and my baby boomers. You know, the baby, you know, I'm having a fight between baby boomers and my millennials, because y'all won't let us Gen Xers get any shine whatsoever. It's like, oh, the baby boomers, then it's the millennials. It's like, hold on, wait. The Gen Xers, hold on, player, wait a minute, okay? And don't X us out, okay? That's just the bottom line. But we have a lot of things that we definitely need to talk about. Those elephant rooms, the police department, and whatever. I often tell people the topics are not the problem. It is the wording that we use. I think once we get past the wording and get into better communication with each other, then I think we'll be able to you know, come to some amicable kind of agreements. It may not be agreement totally, but we can at least get a chance to understand where each other are coming from.
Yeah. I mean, because there's going to be plenty of agree to disagree moments. I mean, that's going to be. But the probably the progress is just even having the conversation, and we don't really want to, you know. And it's like, you can't say this and you can't say that. Let them say what they're going to say. At least you know where they stand. That's my issue. It's like not knowing where someone stands and having that kind of, and you're like, I feel it all in my being that you are not being genuine with me. So then that's my problem.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what helped Trump, even to himself, kind of, you know, amount to being the president of the United States, because he was just that much of just a-hole, to where in which it was like, well, I mean, he is just being himself, you know, and people gravitated towards that. Now,
yes, they did.
I personally, you know, feel like, and, you know, people could disagree, but if a person is actually showing you that they are a particular person that really don't, you know, that's more bigoted and this and that and the other, you voting for them, you're not just saying, well, you know, I ignored that and looking at his policy. No, you looking at everything, because at the end of the day, across the seas or wherever, when they look at what this government has done to their government, they don't look at every individual and go, well, you didn't agree with that president, so we're not holding you accountable. They're looking at the United States. You agreed with whatever your president decided to do. Bam, we coming for y'all, period. There's no kind of breaking down into sections. So I think a lot of times we, you know, looking at, well, I ignore this part of him because I just want my taxes, or I ignore this part because I just wanted this. No, you taking in the whole package.
The whole.
So know that
Right.
when people say, "Oh well, Trump support," not every Trump supporter is a racist. I don't want to say that. That's not necessarily. I mean, the man's clearly let you know that he's
Right.
very bigoted. So that's basically what you're, it's basically what you're signing up for.
I'm one of those that you just said something about if people let you know who they are, believe them, right?
Yeah.
That's what Dr. Maya Angelou always tells us.
Always told us. Yeah.
And here's the
right when you get good, right when you get to your good part, TC, you pop out. But she should be back shortly. Yeah, I'm a Cancer too, but I'm not emotional like that. Like a lot of people say Cancers are emotional. I'm not. My twins, I do have a twin sister though, but she is. But I'm so not emotional. But you're back.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, and I'm getting ready to get off, so I don't have to go out and keep coming back in again. But believe who he is. So you know what? I want to know who you are. It's sort of like this. If you tell me you're a racist and this is who you are, now, okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wonderful. I don't get upset. Right. I appreciate you telling me. Now I know how to act accordingly, because now you've given me the tools that I need, at least 50% of the tools for me to do 50% of what I need to do, my work. The other piece is, it's like love. It's like a relationship. Don't we always say, "Oh, why don't you tell me? Do you really love me? Don't you want a partner that's going to say, I'm not really interested?"
Right.
Don't you want somebody that's going to tell you, you know what, we could be good friends, but I'm not interested in having a relationship, as opposed to spending, 6-7 years
all
with this person.
Time. Right. And then they realize,
and then all of a sudden finding out that
you're not,
they really, whatever they really were, you know what I mean? Even though you had the signs, they told you some things by staying out all the time and always somewhere else on the, in the holidays. It's the same thing. I love it. Let me know who you are. I know how to act accordingly.
Right.
And that's how I feel with elected officials and in any situation. I consider it like it's a relationship.
It is.
And, I appreciate it when you let me know who you are.
Yeah. And I mean, I even give room for growth. Like I can understand that someone may have participated in something at some point in life, and then maybe you changed because you had a different kind of relationship. But if you still showing me that you still back there, then yeah, you didn't change. You were just doing that, and then deal with you accordingly. So then don't be surprised when election time comes rolling around again and you're no longer in your seat.
There you go. Bottom line. There you go.
That's it. So
okay. Well, listen, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much. Sure. And hello to the chat and everybody. I see Sir Corners and Golden Goods and Linty and VMW 08, etc. And Nate, how you doing? Thank you so much, Captivating.
Oh, sure.
I
no
really
problem.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, now everyone have a great day. Rest of the evening.
Well. So, before I go, no, I'm not that shy in person. I'm really not that shy. I am more observant than anything. Like I'm not the first one. If I meet you, I'm not like blah, 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 spilling all my guts. I'm really just watching you, kind of getting a feel, trying to make sure that if my personal vibe that I feel from you just off of meeting you or watching you is exactly how you are, or if I'm mistaken. And usually I'm not mistaken. So that's why I usually am very slow to kind of bust out with and kind of laid back and very observant. So, but yeah, people do take that as me being shy, but no, I'm definitely not shy, just very observant. Yeah, we are. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't get this. Now, what people do, they mistake in this the little soft-spoken, but trust and believe, when it needs to be turned on and turned up, I have no problem doing that at all. You can ask any one of my family members. They already know. Please don't call me talking no BS because it will not be pretty. That's okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, like I can usually tell, like if I straight off my first vibe, if I'm not feeling it, I don't necessarily have to tell the person that, hey, I'm not feeling your vibe. I just know, oh, me and this person won't really have a rapport, and we just move on. They won't know it. I mean, they will eventually because they'll either say something about it, um, and it'll be like, okay, well, you just discovered something that I've known when I met you. But you know, I'm not one to be like, I don't, I never seen it for you anyway. No, I'll keep that to myself. Yes, you see me on the gentleman's panel one day. No, I mean sometimes it comes out because sometimes it gets like sometimes people try to take your kindness for weakness, and that is one thing I definitely don't like. I don't rock with. Granted, I don't answer everyone because everyone does not deserve uh, my energy to answer them because they're just not worth it. And that's just personally how I feel. Uh, so it's just like, oops, sorry, you're just not that important for me to respond to. But some things, though, when dealing with um, actual things that are affecting people and your kind of misinformation and stuff like that, that kind of stuff kind of bothers me. The little bit of stuff like, I forgot her name, but Olivia the Oracle when she said that I was somebody else who I clearly was not. That bothered me a little bit because I'm just like, well, I mean, if you actually came to my platform and actually listened to me, then you would say, yeah, they kind of sound similar, but that's not him. And just leave it at that. For you to go to your platform and then put my name in your title as if I was going to do what? Go back and forth with you? Like, no, I was never going to do that. It's not my thing. Other people will do it. I'm just not going to do it. That's a losing battle. Definitely not worth it. But anyway, guys, it has been a great night as always. Um, I definitely look forward to seeing you guys in the new year. And nothing but the best, even though we are in this pandemic. I pray that we definitely yeah, I know. We're gonna do a nightcap soon. Some things had happened and we had to postpone, but we're definitely gonna do a nightcap soon. Definitely, because we need to get back to that. That was fun. But please, speaking of nightcap, if you have any stories that you would like to share or questions, please don't please email them to me. We won't say your name if necessarily you don't want us to say your screen name or whatever. You can leave that blank and just like a strawberry letter or something like that. So if you have a story or something that you want to share, please do so. I'm sure it will be greatly entertaining, and because we have a good time. Me and Antonio always cut up when we are hanging out, either in person or virtually. So it's never a dull moment. What kind of moisturizer do you use? Oh, okay, Mr. Moisturizer. Yes, well, we will do a nightcap soon. And for those of you who don't know what a nightcap is or what nightcap is, it is the new adult show that I have premiered. There are 3 episodes already in the playlist. So if you can go check those out, it'll give you an idea of what it's about. I'm not necessarily going to tell you so you can watch it and actually, get a vibe for it yourself. It's definitely a lot different than what we do here. Not really about politics and social issues, just, kind of letting the hair down and talking about, adult stuff and things that adults do. So, yeah. They still waiting on what kind of moisturizer you use, Brother Nate. You ain't answer the question. She's waiting. Hey, Virginia Redbone, how are you? You're late now. See? Show's over. But anyway, thank you, Brother Nate. Thank you all for coming by. Thank you all for participating. Thank you for your words of encouragement. Thank you to TC for definitely coming through. And that cocoa, yes, with the cocoa butter. And thank you all for showing your support. And I will see you in the new year. As long as cut it out. Stop. You're gonna make me blush, and that's not good. And I'm not blushing like because it's funny. So stop it. But thank you so much. I know, right? Come through cocoa butter, just like slap it on. And it's probably the Palms or something? The old one that's real thick, not the watery kind, the thick kind, not the watery kind. Yes, I'm usually in the chat. Yes, I am doing that now. So once I stop this, I will be putting my stories together for the rundown for 12. Yes, that is the cocoa butter brand. Yes, the thick kind. Yes, and happy Kwanzaa to everyone. Please, definitely, as African Americans or Black Americans or Black people, whatever you want to be called, that is definitely a holiday that was created by an African American studies professor that we definitely need to participate more in and actually, follow the principles of unity and others. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but we definitely need to start getting more involved in our own cultures and things. So I will be definitely doing my research on Kwanzaa and getting more involved in it, as we all should. We can't always turn our nose up to things that celebrate our own culture just because it doesn't resemble something of a European or paganist culture that we are used to. We come from a different place, and we traveled far, as they say in the Wiz. But yeah, we do. We come from a different place, and we travel. We came from far, so therefore, our original ways would be different. So we have to definitely make sure that we always know that. I'm gonna make you some black eyed peas for the new year, as long as you don't put no pork in it, because I don't eat pork. Yeah, we should be fine. But yep. All right, everybody, have a great night. It was fun as always. Love you guys and peace out.